We're talking about the AI tools for investors. And these tools that I'm going to be sharing, they're not in theory. These are actually all the tools that we're currently using inside my business right now. So I know all these tools pretty intimately. So if y'all have questions, again, go ahead and unmute yourself or type it in the chat, and we'll do that in line where we're at. Okay, so here's the thing though. There are new AI tools launching literally every single day. Is anyone feeling maybe a little bit overwhelmed or potentially even a little bit behind when it comes to these AI tools? I certainly do. Actually, it was really interesting. My family and I were having dinner last night, and I had heard about a new tool called I think it says Suna, Suna, and you can actually create your own music. And so that was a new tool, or maybe it's been around for a while, but we just discovered it yesterday, and we were having a lot of fun just creating our own music and songs. So anyways, like I said, there's new AI tools launching every single day. And it's really exciting. I'm super excited about it. We're having a lot of fun with it. But in this session, we're really just going to focus on what's going to be applicable and give you all the competitive edge as a real estate investor. Are you guys okay with that? Are you okay if we just focus on the tools that are going to help you out in your business today, right now? Awesome. Cool. All right. So first, we just got to cover the elephant in the room. ChatGPT has ruined us. Right? But it's also the new competitive edge. So in my opinion, it sort of ruined us in that it's changing the way that we behave and that we transact with different, businesses, right? So right now, ChatGPT has about 800 million users, and anyone that's using ChatGPT or any other LLM tools, we can get accurate, instant answers to our questions. So at this point, I'm actually using ChatGPT before I go to my CPA. I'm using ChatGPT before I call my attorney. I'm actually even using ChatGPT before I talk to my property managers. So is anyone else sort of in that category right now where you sort of go to ChatGPT first to try to maybe even expand on, some questions that you have or some thoughts, and you're going there before seeking the professionals? Or is it just me? Let me know in the chat if you fall into that category. So anyway, but what this is doing is the behavior has changed, and now people expect quick response times and instant answers. This is kind of like what happened when Amazon started offering almost like overnight or same day shipping, right? All of the other retailers were trying to figure out how they could compete with Amazon because now all the consumers expect shipping to be really quick, right? So that's sort of the trend that's happening. But the exciting part is that AI is the new leverage, and the investors who adopt this new leverage are going to win early and win bigger. But we got to remember that every advantage has a shelf life. So right now, a lot of these tools that we're going to be talking about today, maybe there's some use cases that you haven't considered, which is really exciting. That's my hope for this session. A lot of these tools are underused, and so we really want to figure out how these AI tools can, again, help us in our business, not be a time suck or waste a lot of time. All right, so here's what we're going to cover today. Is what you guys are all going to learn. All right, so the first thing is, again, we're going to kind of start off with this, how AI can lease your properties faster than a human team, which again is really incredible. We started testing this out actually over the summer. I don't want to give it all away here on the slide, but it's incredible. The AI had leased our units out in the same market that we had a property manager, and it was way faster than the property manager, the human team, the way that they were doing it. So we're going to learn about that. Number two, we're going to talk about how you can keep your rents and comps always up to date. Right? So that's really important as real estate investors, right? I mean, that's our revenue stream. We want to make sure that our rents and the comps that we're using for those are always up to date, and we're getting the most, information there, most accurate information. All right. Number three is how AI can accurately underwrite deals for you. Who would like to use AI to do some of the underwriting? I look at deals every day, all day, right? And so I figured out some little tweaks and some tools that can help me get through that underwriting process faster so that I can beat other investors that might be looking at that same deal. All right, number four is how to turn scattered documents into a smart company brain. So for any of you that have VAs working in your business, or you've got business partners or anyone else that's maybe supporting you, it's likely that you have SOPs, but they're probably not optimized. And so I'm going to share with you guys how you can fix that literally in like 10 minutes. And it's going to be free for most of you if you already have a Google product. So anyways, really, really cool there. Okay, number 5. This is also a really, really fun one. Why soon? Some of you will never have to answer the phone again. Who would like to never have to answer the phone again? I don't know about any of you, but I get calls literally all day long, and it's people that it's like scammer calls or people that want to buy one of my properties. I mean, it's just you name it, I get it, right? And so there's a new tool that, again, we've been testing new probably to some of you, but we've been testing it out for the last 4 months that is really, really incredible. That's actually going to be able to answer the phone for you if you set it up. All right. Number 6, the secret to staying present online without being glued to your screen, right? Here's another one. I mean, who would love to make sure that, their brand is out there online on all of the socials, but you don't have to go in there and be manually responding to people and, doing all of the things there, right? Really, really exciting share for you guys there. Let me check the chat really quick. Awesome. Cool. And then number 7, how AI can turn your ideas into videos that attract capital, right? So again, this is kind of, wanting to make sure that you have an online presence as a real estate investor, either, trying to attract private lenders or trying to get, deals that are coming your way. That's fantastic. We should all be doing that. But how to do it in a way that is really strategic and also quick to produce that content. All right, and then number 8, we're going to talk about the tool that lets you build software as easy as writing a sentence. So I'm going to leave a little cliffhanger there for you guys about what that one is. But here's the thing. At the end, you're going to know which tools of these that you want to test this week, even if you're not tech savvy. So if you're thinking, this all sounds really great, but again, I don't have a technical background, I don't know what any of this stuff is all new to me. Maybe you've not even used ChatGPT yet. That's totally okay. All of these things, I'm going to sort of introduce how I'm using it, and then I'm going to show you how to use it, and then you guys can decide which one you want to focus on for the next week. So, sound good? All right, I'm going to check chat. Awesome. Okay, cool. So, for those that don't know me, I just thought I'd share a little bit and then my AI journey. So, I've been a real estate broker for about 16 years. I've been a real estate investor first for about 17 years. I homeschool. I have 2 kids, and that's their first year of homeschool. So we're actually using all the AI tools to support us in that journey. I also co-founded a software company 2 years ago called Door Profit, which is amazing. But it was a lot of work, and it's really interesting. I was just talking to my co-founder last week, and he said, like, literally, if we would have waited 2 years, we could have built the software in a week with all these AI tools versus the 2 years that it took us. So really, really incredible opportunities there. Also own a rental portfolio across 8 states. And I'm also a builder and developer. We've got some really cool building projects that we're doing in our home state of Washington. We now live in Arizona. But yeah, so I say this to say that there's a lot going on in our world. And AI has truly changed how we transact in our businesses, how we're able to get some more leverage with these AI tools, and how we're using these things again to get us more time versus take more time. So the AI journey, back in February, we actually launched a mobile app, and it was really interesting. I never set out to launch a mobile app. It was actually to solve a problem that we face as investors, and then also in my investor community that we were facing. And that's actually just trying to track the reps' hours for qualifying for rep status. So anyways, the IRS requires you to keep a log of all of your hours and the activities and the associated properties. So there's, a lot that goes into that. And I went back to my team and I said, can we just create an app that'll do this for us? That'll integrate with the calendar, that we can, have audio, voice messages into it. And they said, yeah, let's do it. So it actually cost about $200 to develop, which is really cool. Took a little bit long. I think it took us, or them, so I had the idea, the team made it happen. But it took probably about 45 days to build. Just some learning curve there with the AI tools. But we launched it. We gave it to all the investors in our community. We just put it on the App Store just because. And it's really cool. It's like we have people signing up every single day and we're getting a lot of traction there. So anyways, that was just a really cool sort of first entry point into these AI tools. All right. And then in April, we launched EarnBit, which is a micro earning platform built entirely by AI. So that was really cool how that was working as well. Just sort of building all the content out. And then again, we have a lot of people using it and a lot of people, interacting with it, having a lot of fun there. And then back in May, we decided to test out for the first time Voice AI, which I'm going to share with you guys a little bit more about in a minute here. So my team deployed an AI leasing agent. So we trained an agent using the Voice AI technology, and it was really cool. So we were, of course, beta testing it in-house. And then we just put the phone number out there on Zillow. And what's really incredible, you guys, is it handled over 30 calls in the first 24 hours. We got calls at like 10:30 at night, calls past midnight. And it was fielding all of these calls, answering the questions from these prospective tenants. It was sending them an SMS after the call with a link to our pre-application, which we require before we set up any showings. And then those that were qualified based on the pre-application got a showing link that then they could set up a showing with. We have our cleaner there doing that. So anyways, long story short, to say all of that, the unit was leased in less than 4 days, which is absolutely incredible. We didn't have to answer a single phone call. Literally everything was just handled by AI. Nobody complained. That was my other concern, is like, are people, not going to be happy about this? And nobody complained. Everyone got their questions answered and it worked flawlessly. So anyways, we're now deploying that on the maintenance side. So our tenants can call in, have a maintenance request, and we call him Maintenance Mike, can handle that and help troubleshoot. So pretty much now at this point, our businesses are operated by remote team members that are also powered by AI, and these AI employees that we're going to talk about in a minute. So anyways, really cool. But these concepts are so simple, you guys, that even my 10-year-old is using AI tools to build apps. So again, for those of you that are like, this sounds like a lot of work, it sounds like it's really technical. Again, once you understand how these different tools work, then it's really pretty simple and easy. Okay. All right, let's go next. Okay, so first, a lot of the tools that we're going to be talking about, I want to kind of start from maybe easiest to most complex. So number one is I want to talk about virtual staging. So here is the problem. Vacant, unstaged units aren't attracting tenants. So what's happening right now is that every investor is listing the same empty beige box, leaving tenants to compare on price, right? This is actually one of my empty beige boxes here. It's one of our apartment complexes, apartment units in an apartment complex in Clarksville, Tennessee. Looks super ugly. This is a photo that the property manager took. Again, it doesn't look very attractive, but this is what we've got, right? Certainly we're not going to spend money on traditional staging, right? That would cost us like at least $1,000 per unit. That doesn't really make any sense. There are some virtual staging companies that are out there. We've actually tried some of those companies out before, but they charge like over $50, and the quality that you get back is a little subpar. Like, they're just not really that attractive. They look really unrealistic, and tenants just aren't buying it, right? So the result is most investors just totally skip this entirely and they blend into the noise, right? The solution, though, is AI virtual staging. Has anyone tested this out? I'm just curious. Go ahead and let me know in the chat if you've actually tried this workflow. This is inside ChatGPT. But basically, the AI can stage photos in minutes and for free, right? So there's absolutely no cost to doing this. But what we found is that the listings with staged photos get between 2 to 3 times more engagement on Zillow and apartments.com. So our end result, we've actually tested this in Washington State and in Tennessee. The virtual staging has increased our showings by 50%. So it's really interesting. The photo that you can see here on the right is actually the exact same photo on the last slide. And I'll show you, 2 side-by-side examples here. But anyways, look at how attractive this is. It's looks pretty realistic. Again, as a consumer, I can see a little bit of depth here in the living room. So it looks really nice. It looks really attractive. And again, the tenants are now prioritizing our units over everybody else. The other little hack, the little edge that I want to share with you all is we started changing our listing photos. You know, for listing a unit for rent, we actually show the living room first, the staged photo, of course, and then we go, you know, to the other rooms and such. Whereas every other investor has, especially if you're marketing apartment complexes, it's like the outside and it looks really unattractive and it's like a door. And so again, it seems like those units are sitting, but we're having, you know, really great success implementing this strategy. So this is a before and an after. Again, this is the exact same photo, and this is a bedroom. So before on the left, after on the right? Pretty incredible to see the difference here.
Hey, Jennifer, I had a question. I'm sorry.
Absolutely. Nope, go ahead.
Actually, two questions. One, did I hear you correctly? You said you used ChatGPT to do this virtual staging?
Yep, on the next slide, I'm going to share with you guys the how to do this. But
Okay.
yeah, this is what I used. I used ChatGPT. Yep.
And the other question is, are you going to be sharing these slides or no?
Yeah. If you all want the slides, absolutely. I can do
Okay.
that. No
Okay.
problem.
Perfect. Thank you.
Awesome. Great question. Cool. And then Andrew says, I'm going to try this photo editing service out next couple of weeks on a unit. It looks like it could be a great option. Awesome. Yeah, Andrew. I mean, I think, you know, again, maybe there's a cost to that. Maybe it's free. ChatGPT is totally free. So
I have another question.
yeah,
Um,
absolutely. Go ahead.
I was trying to turn on my note taker so I can share this with my staff. They should have been
Okay.
watching this instead of me.
Oh,
Um, but are you going to be sharing the recording?
yep. Yep. Yeah. So we'll have a recording that comes out tomorrow. So I'll give you guys, I know the other person asked about the slides. Totally happy to share the slides, especially when you get into more technical. So happy to share the slides and we'll share with you the whole recording. Absolutely.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, great questions. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I saw a lot of comments in the chat that's like, it looks so realistic, right? Which again, it's incredible. When I show you guys the slide of how I do this, you're going to think, oh my gosh, this is so simple, right? So here's how to do it. There's a little little share over here of me just doing it. But I take photos of the vacant unit. And by the way, if we're talking about just rental units, phone camera is fine. The photos that I used in these examples were literally iPhone photos, right? So you're going to open ChatGPT and click the plus sign, right? So as you can see in this little video, there's a little plus sign. And then the key is you're only going to upload one image at a time. I've actually tried doing a couple images and it just breaks it, right? So do one image at a time. And then I want you to use this prompt. The prompt is, I want you to virtually stage this living room, or if it's bedroom, but do not change any of the hard surfaces. And then I actually say what they are. Don't change the ceilings, don't change the lights, don't change the flooring, don't change the walls, right? So if you leave that out, then sometimes ChatGPT will sort of hallucinate and you might get windows where there's not windows, doors where there's not doors. You'll get maybe nicer light fixtures. We don't want to do that, right? All we want the ChatGPT to do is we just want to add nice furnishing to the existing unit, right? But not change anything else. So that's really important for the integrity of, you know, what we're offering here. Obviously, we don't want tenants coming in and being like, this looks nothing like the photos, which fortunately, like knock on wood, we have not had any of that feedback. So everyone's been really excited about seeing, you know, this sort of staged, virtually staged photos. They're coming for the showings and then they're going ahead and moving forward with the unit. So anyways, even we deployed this actually in one of our apartment complexes in Clarksville, Tennessee, which there's been a lot of like A-class properties that have come on to sort of push downward pressure on the rents. And we did this with our unit. And again, we got it leased right away. So the window of opportunity though on this is limited. I have a feeling probably in the next, I don't know, 6 to 12 months, every investor is going to start doing this. And so we're going to have to find a different edge, but very few, if I would almost argue that like nobody's doing this right now. So if all you get out of this session is this, it's certainly going to help you make more money by, you know, having a shorter lease up time. All right. So now we're going to move on to, again, we're going to stick with ChatGPT, but we're going to talk about agent mode. specifically agent mode, to research market rents. So here's the problem. Researching market rents takes a lot of time, right? So you have to cross-reference multiple sites. You have to go to Zillow, you have to go to apartments.com, Rentometer, Zumper. There's a lot of manual research. It can take hours, right, of lost time trying to compile all this data. But the thing is, if the rents aren't current, then you're going to leave money on the table. So it's an activity that every investor needs to do, but how do we make it better with AI? So the solution to that is ChatGPT Agent Mode can do it for you. So as you can see here on the video, I am starting a prompt. The difference between the last prompt and this prompt is I'm actually activating agent mode, which means it's going to go and search on my behalf across multiple different websites. So basically, I'm giving it a property address. This is a single family home that we own in Everett, Washington. And we have some tenants that are moving out, and I wanted to get an idea of what market rents would be. So anyways, you can use the prompt, I have tenants vacating, address, what are fair market rents. The really cool thing is, as you can see here, it's giving me all of the comps. It's going to do some size and features. So it's going to say, this house is a little bit bigger than yours, but you have another bathroom. It's going to do some comparison there. It's also going to calculate averages, identify outliers, and even flag underpriced units. The really cool thing is now the algorithm is getting so good that it can actually read photos and do a condition comparison, which 2 months ago, it really couldn't do that. So anyways, the really cool thing also to keep in mind is that today AI is the worst it's ever going to be. It's only going to get better from here. So really, really cool tool. I like to think of this as my personal AI market analyst. So I do this for comps. If I need to get an idea of what my properties are worth, I'm going to do this action here. Again, I do it all the time for rent increases. Tenants are vacating. I want to get a good idea of what fair market rents are. I'm always going to run this prompt first. All right, so here's how you can use ChatGPT Agent Mode. So the thing is, this feature is only available though in the Plus or Pro plan. I think it starts at $20 a month though, right? So it's absolutely incredibly affordable to run these types of prompts. So yeah, here's a prompt: research current market rents for, number of bedrooms, property type, located at, address, right? I think the last prompt here, I actually sped this video up. By the way, I should mention it doesn't move quite that fast. I think that I got this prompt back in about 8 minutes. So the cool thing is you can set the prompt, go do something else, come back, and then it'll ping you when it's ready. Awesome. Has anyone tried this? Has anyone tried agent mode? Let me know if maybe you have other use cases. It's really, we could talk use cases all day long, but again, this one is really, really cool. Okay. All right. So if there's no question, I'm going to move on to the next one. So custom GPTs. So let's talk about underwriting deals. So the problem is underwriting deals takes forever, right? It's hours of manual inputs before you even know if the deal is worth pursuing. You've got to gather the rent prompts, operational expenses, taxes, insurance, and all of the assumptions, right? Yeah, go ahead.
I have a question. In the previous slide that you showed,
yep,
is there a way of saving that agent so you don't have to type everything over and over again?
Saving an agent so that you don't have to type it over and over again. So maybe your question will be answered when we're talking about custom GPTs.
Okay.
If you're just running a single prompt, like you just want to get updated rents on a property, then the quickest way is, just really clicking agent and then saying, get me fair market rents for this property. But if you don't want to have to go through the reprompting and the sort of retelling it what you want it to do, then the custom GPT is the way to go.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, great question. Okay. So then, on the underwriting side, if you miss one assumption, your ROI math blows up, right? So it's really time consuming, but also a really important activity, because if you mess something up, then you could be stuck with a bad deal, right? So how do we improve this with AI? The solution is creating custom GPTs. So the solution to this problem is a custom underwriting assistant. So I built my own. I actually have a number. I'll share some other ones with you guys, some other use cases. I create my own custom GPTs for different workflows that I do on a consistent basis. So just like the question that we had, which is like, okay, but how do we, save that so that we don't have to keep doing it again, right? The answer is the custom GPT. So here's what you can do. You can train your custom ChatGPT on your deal templates, formulas, and criteria. So I saw Rochelle's here. Rochelle's a developer here in Scottsdale. She does really cool, high-end homes, new construction ground up, right? So for Rochelle, I would advise her to create her own custom GPT that is trained on maybe her spreadsheets, sort of her formulas, her frameworks for how she analyzes deals, right? And once you set the training done once, then literally it's just input output. And so she can, say, hey, I'm looking at this address at, whatever in Scottsdale. Is this something that we should really consider, right? Hit enter, and it'll come back based on all of her information that she's trained this underwriting assistant, this GPT for. So really, really cool. So in this use case, you can underwrite deals in minutes, not hours. I was putting a bunch of deals in here this week. It was really cool. It's even bringing up some things that maybe I hadn't considered, right? So really, really cool. It's able to pull in, some market statistics and, give me feedback that, again, I might not have considered. The really cool thing, though, is most important, is you're going to get consistent data-backed decisions. So that's what I really like about these custom GPTs is you're basically training, it's like an agentic model, right? You're training this agentic model to respond in a certain way based on a repeatable action. So I kind of liken it to, it's like hiring an analyst who never gets tired and who never makes math mistakes. So really, really helpful to do that here. I'm going to share with you guys some other use cases. So we have another custom GPT. As mentioned, we have a voice AI agent called Maintenance Mike. And this is a custom GPT that we built for Maintenance Mike. But this one can answer questions related to repairs and maintenance. So I'm going to share with you guys here in a minute how you can build these. But the way that I train Maintenance Mike is basically I said, like, look, you're an expert handyman and contractor. Your sole goal and purpose for me is to answer questions based on repairs and maintenance requests that we get in. And I also want you to quote, pricing and things like that, right? So in this is, the little GPT. This is the output. I put here that tenant has reported an air gap coming in from the front door. What's the best way to fix this? And then per Mike's training, he did a great job. He says it sounds like the tenant's reporting a draft or visible gap. And then he asks some clarifying questions and then basically just gives me the answers with, again, some pricing feedback, which is absolutely incredible. So literally at any time with any property, if we get a maintenance request and the property manager says, hey, this is happening, I don't know, this is the cost, I can sort of do a little double check, little checks and balances and say, hey, this is the issue, and see if my Maintenance Mike in this case has come up with any other solutions or any other thoughts. So really pretty cool. Another one that Stefan on my team built for me is a CPA advisor. So I don't know, I got tired of waiting for my CPA that we could schedule a call if I had a question or if I'd send him an email and maybe get a response in 2 days. And I went to my team and I said, I don't know, can we create a custom GPT and just feed it the entire IRS tax code? And this is what I got. So it's really cool. I actually don't even ask questions of my CPA anymore. I was actually even uploading some of my tax returns with, obviously all the sensitive data. I uploaded some of my tax returns and said, hey, can you review this? Let me know what you think. And it pointed out a few errors that my CPA had made that I was able to copy and paste, send it back to him. Of course, I didn't say that ChatGPT found his errors, but I sent it back to him and I said, hey, what about, this amount on this form? Are you sure that's right? And he fixed some of the, basically he admitted his errors. So that is how good these AI models are. It is absolutely insane. So again, we could continue to go over use cases. I mean, I have a custom GPT for our HOA in my neighborhood. I can ask it any questions. I have a custom GPT that helps me create curriculum for homeschooling. Michelle says my mind is blown right now, right? I mean, anyway, this is like endless. And so for a lot of you, I'm sure that you've heard of, again, like ChatGPT, but maybe you haven't been using it in this way. So that's the goal there. Alberto, I see you have your hand raised. Go ahead.
Yeah, my question is on this agent you have, but maybe there's other use cases too. Is there a way to train the agent so that if there are like new tax laws that come out, you can feed that sort of like automatically? Because, there's new laws every
Yes.
year.
Yes.
And I'm also thinking like tenant landlord laws, there's obviously the base of laws, but then there's new laws being passed all the time. So
Yep.
that's my question.
Yes, that is a fantastic question. Yes, you can have these agents go and make sure that they have the most up-to-date information. So Stefan had set that up on my team. Again, I'm not technical, so I rely heavily on my incredible team to, do some of these highly technical things for me. But to your point, yes, he does. I believe it's an API that is set up with this, especially as you had mentioned, right? I mean, I think Stefan had built this, and then the new bill came out, and so he set up some API that basically I think it reads the entire IRS website, and as something is new, then it feeds back and it retrains this ChatGPT CPA advisor so that it has the most up-to-date information. And then I want to also highlight the other use case that you were mentioning, which is landlord-tenant law. Yeah, we actually have a landlord-tenant law GPT for every state that we're in. And same thing, it is tied to, we tell it which websites we want it to use, because sometimes if it just searches, say, the general website, you might get out-of-date information, right? And we don't want that. With the custom GPTs in particular, you can choose how it's trained. And so it's really important to make sure that you're specific on like, hey, use only these websites, which would have like maybe even an RSS feed that puts in any new information that would be applicable to your use case. It's a really great question.
Perfect.
Sweeta,
Thank you.
Yeah, great question. Sweeta, I saw you had your hand raised as well. Did you have a question?
Yes, sorry, I'm driving and I hope you can hear me.
I can, yeah.
I guess my question was regarding the maintenance mic. I was wondering where that information was sourced from.
Yeah, that's a great question. So when we train maintenance mic, I use primarily some just prompts. A lot of times to create the best prompts, you need to give the AI tool a role. And so what I found is I say, if you like CPA advisor, like you are an expert CPA, things like that, right? So for maintenance mic, I said, you are an expert, something like you are an expert handyman, and, contractor, you're going to answer questions like this. I want you to find these solutions. And so it sort of went into that with that knowledge. The other thing, when we get to the how-to on this, it's really important that you load it with the data that you want it trained on, and then you just test it. So that's what I do a lot of times. We load the data, and then I'll ask it a couple of questions. And if I'm not getting the output that I want, then I'll go back and I'll edit the training database. And so sometimes we're having to do that. Again, just a little bit of beta testing. And then the good thing is once it's done, it's done, right? It's like I set it and forget it. So yeah, but it's really important. So like, again, and maybe if you're interested, I could find the prompt that I used to create maintenance mic, and I could just share that with you.
Yeah, because like these kind of areas where you're not familiar with like maintenance things, right? Normally I'm having to just go by based on whatever the contractor says. And sometimes I always have this question, is he really telling the truth, or does he just want more money? I don't know, but these thoughts always pop up in my head, right? So it would be nice to be able to compare and I love how ChatGPT always gives you more questions to think of, which otherwise don't even occur naturally to me, because this is not my area of expertise. So was just wondering. Yeah,
that's a really good use case, 100% for anyone that doesn't have a construction background, right? And you're getting these maintenance requests from either your contractor or your property manager, and you just want to sort of make sure that what they're giving you is really, the full picture there, right? There's nothing else to consider. Plus, you don't want to be spending money in one area when it's actually a totally different issue. Which is, we got into that heavily as we've been training the voice AI. I mean, we even have it down to if a tenant calls in and says, you know, hey, this is what's happening. It's saying, great, can you send me a photo and a video? And then it's able to actually read those and give the tenant feedback based on what it's saying, which is, again, it's just unreal. When Michelle says, my mind is blown, I mean, guys, like we haven't even got to the good stuff yet. So
Yeah.
awesome. But
Thanks,
yeah,
Jen.
really good question. The other feedback that I want to give on the training and the prompting, of course it comes with practice, but if you're just not sure, open ChatGPT and say, I'm trying to create a custom GPT that does this. Can you create the prompt for me? And I mean, it's really, really incredible. It can kind of, you know, create the prompt for you, test it out, see if it works, and then iterate from there. This is a really good starting point. Okay, so how to build your own custom GPT. So step one, like I said, you can just open ChatGPT and ask it to create the prompt for you for whatever use case you're wanting to create for whatever custom ChatGPT you're wanting to create. And then step two, you're going to go to ChatGPT, explore GPTs, and then it's kind of weird, but you have to click explore first, and then there's a little button on the side that says create new GPT, right? So from there, it's going to open a little module. Then you can upload, if you want it to just read documents, like again, if you want code for new construction for the city of Scottsdale, right? I mean, you could literally just train a whole GPT on just that, right? But you can upload your documents, leases, SOPs, FAQ, deal templates, training materials, whatever it is that you're trying to create, and you know, feed it all that information. And then you can say, like, only answer from this uploaded database or only answer from the sources that I've given you. Hit configure and then test it with real questions. That's like the ultimate test, is like, is it going to give you the output that you're after? One thing to note, so AI is garbage in, garbage out. And so if you don't get the answers that you're looking for, go back to your base prompt or the training documents in this example. So again, don't get frustrated. That was my initial sort of feeling in the beginning. It's like, this is not getting me what I wanted. And then I realized that I wasn't prompting it in the right way. So some feedback there. Okay, we're going to move on to, as I shared in the beginning, having like a company wiki or SOP home. So this is really for any of you that have people supporting you in your business. It could be even, you know, spouses that want to sort of know what's going on. It could be VAs, it could be employees, business partners, you name it. This is going to really help you out, kind of get all of that information into a searchable database. So here's the problem. SOPs often get buried or potentially forgotten, right? So most of us, we probably have SOPs on how we transact and how we do business, right? But a lot of times nobody can ever find them, right? So if we created them as the company owner, we know where they are. But, you know, if we onboarded a new team member, they're like, you know, coming to us for questions, right? And that's not what we want. We have these SOPs. We want them to go to the SOPs, but they need to be able to find them. A lot of times those SOPs live in Google Drive, Dropbox, maybe even on someone's laptop, right? That sort of leaves new team members to constantly ask the same questions. And then a lot of times the whole team is trying to search through documents. It's wasting time, breaking focus. The knowledge is scattered and it's not searchable or alive. So we've got a really cool AI solution for that. So the solution is a living company wiki with Notebook LM. So Notebook LM is a Google product. So what Notebook LM does is it connects to your Google Drive and it can read your SOPs, policies, guides, like literally anything that you feed it. And then it becomes a living AI knowledge base that your team or you can chat with. So literally you can ask it anything. It's going to cite exact documents and sections. So I'll give you the use case of, again, let's say you have an SOP on your leasing process and you've onboarded a VA that's going to help you out with that. And they're starting to ask you questions like, hey, you know, what do we do for this? If you implement this, you can literally just give them the link and they can start searching through your company database like that, right? So it's perfect for VAs, employees, or partners. Now, this is a little bit different than a custom GPT because it's a Google product that is, primarily tied to other Google products, assuming that most people use Google Drive. So if you are an employee, for example, had a Google Drive document and you quickly updated an SOP, it's going to have a live feed to Notebook LM that's going to make it instantaneously updated. So again, kind of going back to that question about like, how do we make sure that these things are updated? Well, when it comes to documents, ChatGPT isn't really good about that. If you upload a PDF, but then you go and change that PDF later, there's no like direct integration to that, right? Whereas this solves for that. So let me show you just really quick. This is what ours looks like. This is for our property management arm. So it's called Area Yield PM Wiki. All of the documents that we have for SOPs and actually every single property file, every appraisal that we have, every inspection report, everything is literally in Google Drive and then synced with us. And so I put in here, who do we use for management in Clarksville, Tennessee? And it's literally responding. It's like, okay, here's the company, here's the properties that are in Clarksville. Again, it's like a living, breathing company brain, and it's all ready to go. Literally everything and anything that somebody would need that's coming into your business. So it's really, really, really cool. It searches all the documents. It's going to highlight. They can literally click the document from there. It's absolutely incredible. It's like such a game changer. So we started bringing on, again, like VAs, and even with the training of the AI agents, everything can be in one place, tied to this brain, tied to the training document. So again, absolutely incredible. Sylvia says, we were just talking about this. Yeah. So again, for those of you that have team members or people in the business, or literally if you just want to give your spouse some insight in like what's happening, say like, hey, okay, we've got this company wiki. If you think should happen to me, it's all there. It's sort of a set it and forget it, to be honest. You can share an entire folder and just say like, hey, if I've got VAs that are working for me and they're creating SOPs, make sure that you create every SOP in this folder. And then if they bring on somebody that works under them, everything is here. Like it's magic. It's absolutely incredible. Like now I don't even know what I would do without it. So anyways, yeah, you can test it. Like, how do we handle maintenance requests? What's our late fee policy? Everything there, searchable. People can find it. Super cool. All right. Just real quick check before we get into AI employees, because if your mind has been blown at this point, it's really going to be blown when we get to AI employees. So just wanted to see, just give an opportunity if anyone had any questions before we move on. I know I'm going a little bit fast, but yeah, go ahead.
Yes, I have a question. I was, as you were speaking, I was going through ChatGPT, trying to do some of the things that you had there.
Cool.
I have the $20 version, personal. That doesn't do all these things. I have to get the business or pro.
Okay.
Or does the basic one do it?
Unless they've recently changed something, I think I have the pro and I pay $20 a month.
And you can do this with the $20 a month version?
Yes.
Okay, maybe I'm not. I'll do it after we're done. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, no problem.
And if you have several employees and do you have to store your SOPs in a Google Drive, or can you use Microsoft?
So we use
SharePoint.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not as familiar with SharePoint. My assumption would be that there's probably an integration for that. We keep everything on Google Drive. So it's like Google product to Google product, is direct integration. But you might want to just Google and see if, or ask ChatGPT if SharePoint will integrate with Notebook LM. And I'm sure that there's probably some way to do that.
The one that you showed, LLM, that's free by Google.
Yes, with a paid Google account. Yes.
Okay, good.
Yep.
Thank you.
Awesome. Cool. Great question. All right. So now we're going to move on to AI employees, which this is, again, I say that everything has been a game changer, and I'm saying that not to be trite, but like literally like everything has been a game changer for us. But the AI employees, again, is like really, really mind blowing. It's so incredible what they're doing. I'm referring to them as people, what they can do. But yeah, I'm just going to go in and start showing you guys. All right. So problem number one. Okay. So missed calls often can mean missed money, right? So every missed call that we could have as a business owner, it could be a prospective tenant, if you're self-managing, it could be a lead, it could be an agent with a deal, it could be a repair request. I mean, who knows, right? But here's the thing. If we can't be answering our phone 24 hours a day. And the thing is, 80% of people don't leave voicemails anymore. Is anyone else in the 80% count? Like I don't leave voicemails for anyone anymore because I'm like, I don't know if they're going to get it. I don't know if I'm ever going to get a call back. Like I really just don't. If I'm trying to call businesses, like I will sort of make my decision based on like who I can get in touch with first. And that's just the reality, right? I mean, that's sort of where we're at. So the thing is, if you don't answer though, they're going to move on to the next, listing, or they're going to move on to the next thing or the next person, whatever it is, right? So that's the downside to that. Rochelle, I see you raised your hand. Are you raising your hand for being in that camp, or did you have a question?
Sorry, that was a mistake.
Okay, no worries. Awesome. Okay, so again, like how do we solve this problem using AI? So the solution is to hire an AI receptionist. So here's what an AI receptionist can do for you. There's sort of two really cool use cases. One is it can answer your missed calls, or you can use it as a standalone agent. So for example, we actually just deployed this for my husband this morning. So my husband is our asset manager. I mean, he gets calls from contractors. He's doing the developer thing in Washington. He's got property managers calling him, like you name it, everybody's calling him. He's also getting a lot of spam calls like, hey, can we buy your property? And all of that kind of stuff that he doesn't want. So we implemented this on his phone today. Whereas if he doesn't answer his personal cell phone, then his AI receptionist, Rob, is going to answer. And Rob is going to try to figure out like, who's calling? Like, who is this? What do they need? What do they want? And if it's what Travis has designated as like a high value caller, they're going to immediately say, oh, you're a property manager from such and such. Okay, awesome. Can you tell me a little bit about what's going on? Cool. I'm going to flag this so that as soon as Travis is out of his meeting, he's going to call you back. Or if it's a contractor that we're waiting for an estimate, he's going to say, okay, great. I know that Travis has been waiting for that estimate from you. Here's the thing. He's in a meeting right now. Can you email the estimate over to, this email? And then I'm going to have Travis call you back as soon as he's done. So literally it sounds like a live person. The cool thing is that now there's never a missed call, and it completely eliminates voicemail, so like voicemail's gone, right? Like literally everyone either gets my husband or it gets his AI receptionist, Rob. The cool thing is Rob is available 24/7. So again, if my husband's on an airplane flight and he's got airplane mode on, somebody calls and it's a, call that we want, right? He's going to get the full transcript, and that person is going to talk to Rob, get the transcript, or sort of tell that person like, hey, send an email, send a text, whatever. So it's really cool. So no missed calls or voicemails to return. Some use cases that we've used it for as well, it's a standalone agent, is for leasing. So it can pre-screen tenants, schedule showings, log repair requests automatically, like you name it, it can do it. The cool thing is it keeps you focused on deals and not phone duty. Also, it's insanely cheap. So plans start at like $97 a month with just like, again, insanely cheap. So I want to do a real quick live demo of Jessica, my leasing agent. I'm going to hit play, and then if you guys can let me know in the chat if you can hear the audio, because it's really important. I want you guys to hear this call.
This is Jessica with Area Yield PM. How can I help?
You guys hear the audio?
Hi, Jessica. Yeah, I'd like to set up a showing to see the property in Everett.
Perfect. Awesome.
Great. The first step is to complete our free pre-application form. Once that's submitted, we'll follow up to schedule your showing. Would you like me to send you the link to get started?
Yeah, I don't want to fill out an application yet. I'd just like to see the property first.
I totally understand. To schedule a showing, we do require the pre-application form to be completed first. It's free, quick, and doesn't commit you to anything. Once that's done, we can move forward with setting up a time. Would you like me to send you the link?
Yeah, is it okay if I have 2 dogs?
Yes, we do allow dogs. There's a $250 refundable security.
So anyways, I think you guys can kind of get the point, but it's really incredible. So this is an AI agent. We call her Jessica. Essentially, we have put her phone number on all of the marketing for our units for rent. So she's on, Zillow, apartments.com. I mean, you name it. Everything is there, and a tenant can call in, talk to Jessica if they have questions. She has the full script of about the property. Again, I asked in this example about 2 dogs, and she said, okay, we do allow pets, but under these circumstances, it actually goes into asking about certain breeds of dogs and things like that. But it's really cool. The other thing I want to show you too, highlight is this is multilingual. So this agent in particular speaks English and Spanish. So we had one of our investors inside of our community. He deployed this agent that we trained in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And he said that 60% of the prospective tenants that had called in actually had the conversation in Spanish, which is unreal. And it ended up that, they found a tenant, I think in 3 days. And it was a Spanish speaking tenant that, was really happy that they could obviously have the conversation in Spanish. So again, totally a game changer. In my opinion, I think that every single property manager should have this as well. We're talking to all the property managers that we have on our portfolio and saying look, this technology is out there. You absolutely need to be using it, because obviously if a tenant, sees one of your units and it's Friday, say 6 o'clock, right? The likelihood of them getting that question answered by a live person is, really slim, right? So they're probably going to get a call back on Monday. Well, at that point, they've probably moved on, right? So this allows for instant answers. The other really cool thing is that every single caller is added to the CRM. So again, there's no sort of mystery around these missed calls. Is that somebody that I wanted to talk to? Who was that? Literally every single call is handled. So really, really cool. All right. And then here's a transcript, right? So after a call is handled by the agent, I get an email that looks like this. It says user, but obviously I get the contact information for the person that called. So again, we have all of this follow-up information for all of these tenants that we can go back to and be like, hey, okay, you didn't fill out the application. All of those triggers are set. So really, really, really super cool. Okay, sorry. Any questions on this before I move on? What do you guys think? How did you think that Jessica did? Do you think that she sounded realistic?
It's very awesome. Yeah, there was a little delay, but very awesome.
Yeah.
Does she integrate? This is a standalone, so it doesn't integrate with Yardi or Appfolio.
Yeah, so Appfolio in particular has an API that actually can take all of this information and put it into Appfolio. The other way around that is if you're using a pre-application form in Appfolio, then the leads can go in through that route. But yeah, you can take all the information with an API, through Zapier, set that up and make sure that all those callers are going into there. I'm not sure about Yardi. I would assume that Yardi has an API. So pretty much any, big software company that has an API can basically integrate.
And you had Jessica read all your SOPs and contracts and everything so that she could answer those questions, like how much is a pet fee?
Yeah. Yeah. So basically it's just integrating the knowledge base that we want Jessica to have. But then I also say, if you can't answer a question, don't make something up, right? So it is, without getting, I guess, too technical, but essentially, you've got the agent, you've got the training docs, and then you select which LLM you want to use. So we primarily use ChatGPT, I think it's 4.0. So that is the brain that it gives this AI agent so that it can sort of, obviously you can't train these models for every type of scenario. I mean, I said I have 2 dogs. And then she recognized that, okay, great, there's a $250 refundable security deposit per pet and, the pet rent. And then she recognized that we were talking about dogs. So then she brought up the insurance doesn't allow certain breeds. I can send you the full list, right?
It's incredible.
I mean, again, it's mind blowing. It's so, I mean, seeing these calls come in is one, I'm like, oh my gosh, this saved us so much time. And then number 2, again, it's the people are engaging with it, right? I mean, the tenants are asking more questions and they're saying, well, is there any flexibility on the move-in date? And, again, the output that we're getting is absolutely incredible. It's really cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, great question. And then get the question, I saw there was another one. I'm going to share with you guys the software that we use for all of this here, and once we get done talking about the AI employees. All right, cool. So that is Voice AI. Again, I'm just showing you the use case of leasing. There's a ton of other use cases we also talked about just on the personal level of, answering calls that you don't answer on your personal cell phone. Maintenance is another big one. Use case, obviously, for rental property ownership. I mean, there's so many different things that you can do here. You can have it like answer calls from agents and say like, awesome, I've been waiting for this call. Do you have a deal, or talk about a deal, whatever. And instruct the agent to like fill out a form or send you an email. I mean, again, sort of the opportunities with this it's endless. Cool. All right. So we're going to talk about another AI employee. So here's the problem. We all know that social media is great for connecting with others and, getting our brand out there, getting our business out there, but it can truly be a full-time job, right? So for anyone that's posting on social media on a regular basis, it's a lot of work. So posting the content sometimes is easy, but then engaging with people can be the hard part. A lot of times comments and DMs pile up, especially after a really good post. And a lot of us, I think we're using social media to attract deals, partners, potentially private lenders, right? But turning followers into real leads takes time and follow-up. So I kind of look at this as it's kind of like hosting an open house, but ignoring everyone who showed up, right? So how do we solve this with AI? Here's my solution. So AI social media managers. So a social media manager, AI employee, can respond instantly to every single comment and DM 24/7. It can start real conversations that feel personal, not robotic. It can answer common questions, share links, and potentially qualify leads. And also it's going to collect the follower info and add it straight to your CRM. So it's kind of like giving your brand a full-time community manager who never misses a message or a sale. Who wants to see a demo on this? If you're like, okay, this is really cool, but I'm trying to wrap my mind around like what this would look like. So let me know in the comments if you want to see like, okay, like what does this actually look like and how does this work?
Absolutely.
Cool. Awesome. So I actually set one up for you guys. I had my team go to one of our social media accounts that didn't have this yet, and I set up a demo. So you can literally go to @addicted2ROI on Instagram, comment demo on any post. I think that there was one that was posted actually just a little bit ago if you want to comment on that one. But literally just comment demo on any post and you'll see it in action. So what the social media manager AI employee is going to do is it's going to comment back on your comment. It's going to like your comment back and say like, hey, awesome that you want to see the demo, something along those lines, check your DMs. And then probably in about a minute after that, you should look in your DMs and you'll have a DM from the AI social media manager. And it's kind of cool. I think it can talk to you a little bit. So if you guys want to see it in action, that's the best way to do it. But really, really, really cool. Again, it just, is sort of an extension to what you're already doing. That's going to save you a lot of time. As you can see, that's sort of the theme of this presentation is like everything is designed to save you a lot of time. All right, so go ahead and try that out. And then to answer the question is like, okay, so how do you get these AI employees? This is so awesome. So we use callready.com to get plug and play AI employees built, tested, and deployed for you. So literally, again, it's, you can do the voice AI, you can do the reputation AI. We have some other ones on there also that are really cool. But yeah, so all of these are sort of like pre-built, but it'll be trained on your business. And that's the biggest thing is obviously, if you're going to deploy these, you want it to sort of like sound like you, or at least be on brand. Okay, so Rochelle says, does it go back and forth? Such as the person asks, how have you been? Yeah, you can totally set it up that way. I think with the demo, it's a little bit more of like a templated, like we've sort of given it some guardrails. So you can kind of interact with it that way. But yeah, you can turn it on to like full autopilot mode, which is sort of what the voice AI technology does, with, again, some guardrails, right? So it's sort of telling them like, hey, here's how the call flow will go. But yeah, you can go back and forth like that. You can also like jump in if you're seeing something that you're like, oh no, it's talking to my mom or my cousin or, you know, my kid's friend, something like that, right? Like you can jump in, and the second that you jump in and you comment back, it'll stop. So it recognizes that, like, you know, okay, so human's taking over, and then it'll stop. It'll stop at least in that, you know, that conversation. So it's really, really cool. Again, it's, you know, it's really funny to be testing out these tools, and our friends are like, wait, what was that? My husband's best friend actually called him today, but he was on another call, and then he got Rob. And so my husband called his best friend back, and his best friend was like, who's Rob? Like, I got this Rob, like, what was that? He thought it was really cool. Again, we've not had any like negative feedback about any of these tools, which is really cool. But yeah, so that's, you know, sort of the behind the scenes on that. All right, cool. So we're gonna keep going here. We're almost at the end. And then if you guys, again, have any other questions, I'm happy to answer. All right, so let's talk really quickly about video content. So we're kind of still on the same, you know, like social media opportunities here. The problem is that video is the new credibility, but it's really, really time consuming. So if anyone has like, you know, produced video content online or on social media, like it takes a lot of time, right? But the cool thing is video builds trust 10 times faster than text or photos. So investors and private lenders want to see who they're trusting and would potentially be partnering with on deals, right? The thing is, you've got deals to run, not scripts to memorize. So a lot of investors skip video entirely because it just feels like way too much work. So how do we solve this one with AI? Some really, really new cool tools. So solution is AI video creation with Sora. There's a lot of different tools, but we're going to focus on Sora on this one. There's tools like Sora. HeyGen is another one that I've beta tested, which is really cool. Theia, which is a Google product. They can create videos straight from text. So essentially what you do is you clone yourself, you type your message, and then AI generates a full cinematic clip. So here's a little fun one that I created.
Hey everyone, I'm out at the Saturday Farmers Market. It's coming down pretty good, but the food is absolutely worth getting a little wet for. I want to show you a few of my favorite healthy picks. Kale is such a powerhouse, full of fiber.
So really fun, right? I mean, literally it took me probably a minute to create that. I had to clone myself and then just said like, you know, I was trying to think, I'm like, what do I want to create a video about? Oh, I was at a farmer's market over the weekend and it rained. And that's the output that I get, right? Really, really, really cool. So use cases, you can showcase properties or businesses. You can create explainer videos or market videos. Really cool. Let me show you some other examples. The payoff is that literally you can be everywhere without filming anything. So you could post weekly videos without ever stepping in front of a camera. You could build instant trust with buyers and sellers. Keep your brand top of mind, look polished, consistent, and professional. This one, the output was okay, but I'll just...
Good morning, everyone. I'm at the downtown farmers market. It's a rainy Saturday, but these stalls are packed with amazing produce. I'm here for some leafy greens and root veggies to show you how easy it is to eat healthy.
Obviously, I think when, you know, streaming over Zoom and then recording and then playing, the quality wasn't so great, but just gives you guys another example. What do you all think of this? What do you... Yeah, go ahead.
Was that you or was that AI?
So that was completely AI. Yeah, this is not...
Good morning, everyone. I'm at the downtown farmers market.
Yeah, I was not there. It was not raining like that. This is not me recording. This is 100% generated by AI.
Wow.
Pretty incredible, huh? Cool. All right, so here's how you can create a video in minutes. So start by downloading the Sora app. I don't believe that it's available for Android yet, but for Apple iOS users, it is. So you'll download the Sora app. It's gonna take you through some prompts. You have to clone yourself first. And then when you wanna create a video, you've gotta type @ and then whatever username that you created, and then prompt it to what you'd like to create. So here's just another fun one.
All right, let's dive into what's happening with AI this year. We're seeing generative models moving beyond text and images into video and 3D, and that's changing how content...
Pretty cool, huh? Sylvia's like, wild. Yeah, it's so cool. Again, we want to focus on things that are going to be related to business, right? A lot of these tools you can kind of get sucked into. It could, be fun, but again, we want to we want to use these for productivity. Not Ashley's like mind blown. Yeah. So really, really, really cool. So experiment, have fun with it. Test it out. Obviously, see how it lands on some of your socials and see like, are people commenting back? I really appreciate that you asked if that was like actually me or if that was AI. And like I said, obviously it looks really realistic. Yeah.
You actually look better in person.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'll take the compliment. Awesome. Cool. Okay. You guys got one more thing. I know we're over. If you have to watch the recording later, like no worries. But I want to give you one more big shift. Your mind hasn't already been like blown 5 times. Like, let's blow one more time. Let's finish strong. All right. So last thing, guys, the big shift is from using AI to building with AI. Cool. You guys ready for it? This is really cool. So here's what we're going to do. So you've all seen how AI can save you time and run your business, right? Like, it's really cool. I hope you guys picked up at least a couple of things that you can implement this week. But the next level is creating your own AI-powered tools. So we're talking about like no coding, no developers, just your idea built instantly. So it's kind of like going from driving a car to designing your own Ferrari. So, all right. So like, what is this? Oh, sorry, I didn't go over the bottom. So the problem is, I think all of us could look at our business and say, like, gosh, if there was only a tool that could do this, it would save me a ton of time, or it would really move us forward in the business. But obviously that's going to take months and a lot of money, and I'm not a developer. Like how do I even do this, right? So if you want a rent tracker, like that's a development project. If you want a deal analyzer app, okay, cool, you're going to find a developer and pay them 10 grand. Right? So most investors have like these really cool ideas that never get built because it's way too complex and it's like, we don't know how. So how can we get AI to solve this for us? All right. So the solution is this really cool tool called Lovable, and it's lovable.dev. And I've been using this pretty much all year. This is actually what my 10-year-old uses to code and build her little apps and her websites. And it's so user-friendly and it's really, really cool. Again, if we're looking at it from the lens of the business focus, there's a lot of different things that you can do with it. But essentially what Lovable does is you describe what you want, Lovable writes the code, and then it deploys it. So let's say you want a new website for your business. Lovable can build you a website. If you want a dashboard, a calculator, a database, like literally you name it, Lovable can build it. So it's kind of like having your own full stack dev team on autopilot. So in this example, I'm just going to play it really quickly. It's a 20-second video. I sort of sped it up. I went to Lovable and I said, I want a flip deal analyzer. And I think I literally said I want to be able to type in the address and I want to be able to, have it sort of run the full analysis for me, put some inputs in and have it all done. And this is what it built. Let me pause it at the end here. It's so crazy. So in the video, the AI is building an online flip deal analyzer. Last night at dinner, we actually built problem that we're facing in homeschooling is like, how do we handle testing? I want to make sure that my daughter is retaining the information, but how do I test her? Do I handwrite a test? That doesn't make sense. Went into Lovable and I said, hey, build me a website where I can go in and I can put in certain questions based on the curriculum that she learned that week. And then my daughter can log in, answer those questions, and then it'll tell her if she got it right or not. And anyways, we built it in probably 15 minutes. We deployed it. She's super stoked about it. And I'm like, problem solved. So anyways, really, really, really cool. This Lovable tool. This is, again, it's probably going to send some of you down a rabbit trail, but it's really cool. And like I said, we built a lot of websites with this. As mentioned, sort of in the beginning, some of the software tools that we developed were developed on Lovable. So really, really cool stuff. All right. So Leah's like, what? Mind blown. So anyone on this call, you'll never have to build a website again. You'll never have to hire, don't pay somebody to build a website. Literally everything can be done on Lovable. Okay, so I'm going to do a quick recap. Here's what we learned today. You learned how to make for rent listings pop with free AI virtual staging. Who was really into that one? Like, again, something that we can all do. It's so easy, like low hanging fruit. Everybody on this call should be implementing that like tomorrow or today. We talked about how to get free rent estimates faster and smarter with ChatGPT's agent mode. So again, any kind of research, anything that you're doing in your business that requires research, like just give it to ChatGPT, have it do it for you. We talked about how you can underwrite like a pro with your own custom GPT and how to create custom GPTs to do some of these like redundant tasks that you're already doing that can also, again, have a training database on how you want it to answer. We talked about how you can never miss a call again using an AI receptionist, how you can attract deals, partners, and lenders, and have conversations done online with an AI social media manager, how to create videos effortlessly with no filming required. And then we talked about how you can create software in a few sentences with Lovable. So covered a lot of ground tonight. The key takeaway though is that you're now all AI enabled investors. We talked about AI tools that can save time. AI employees are going to multiply your output, and then the AI creation is going to give you leverage. So really, really, really cool stuff. So the last action item is, what's your next move? What's the one AI tool that you're going to implement first that you learned today? All right. Cool. So while you're thinking about that, I don't want to leave you all without an action. So please share it in the chat. Like, what's the one tool that you're going to implement first? Emily, I see Emily has a question of, does Lovable build mobile apps yet? No, it doesn't code with React Native, so it doesn't build mobile apps yet. It can only do web apps. There's another tool, Replit, is really cool for that. And then Sylvia says, I came late. Will the slides be shared? Yes. Yep. We'll get a full recording out to you all tomorrow with all the slides. And then awesome. Yeah, good to see you too, Rochelle. Awesome. Cool. So Alberto really liked the virtual staging. Awesome. Michelle says, virtual staging for my empty rental. I love it. You can literally do that tonight, Michelle. Replace all the images. Again, use that living room photo that I shared with you. I think that that's really going to change things. So it's really cool. Sylvia, looking into call ready. Awesome. And then spend some time on Lovable. Cool. Ashley says, build a GPT or utilize the agent. Awesome. Shirley says, what about an AI accountant? Yeah, so Shirley, I have a custom GPT that has read the entire IRS tax code that I use for getting tax questions. Although I would love to see somebody build an AI accountant that can actually file the tax returns, because we pay way too much money to a CPA, and I'd love to see somebody do that. All right. Roberto, implement answering the phone. Cool. Roberto, yeah. Again, if we can get those missed calls handled, never have to answer voicemail again. I mean, it's just insane. Cool. Rochelle says, not sure yet, but having my VA and husband watch. Oh, love it. Roberto says, how good is it for underwriting? Roberto, it's really, really good. Let me stop the share really quick. Yeah. Again, I can at this point feed it any property address, and I have it trained. My buy box is a little bit different. So we're doing some development and we do multifamily. So it's trained on my buy box, and it'll basically come back and it'll say like, Jennifer, this is a great deal. Like, you got to move. And then it'll say some others it's like, let's watch this one. And then other times it'll be like, pass, it's not worth your time. So anyways, it's really, really good. Cool. So Shirley says that, and the monthly recons. Awesome. Liz. Yeah. The leasing agent. Again, leasing agent. We call her Jessica. We have to refer to all of our agents with names now because we have so many. So it's kind of funny because my daughter's like, oh, are you talking about leasing agent Jessica or maintenance Mike? Again, it's sort of comical at this point. So yeah, the leasing agent is absolutely incredible. And I think I mentioned, so she can have a phone call, she can send a follow-up text, and she can also send follow-up emails, which is, again, just absolutely insane. So Shirley's is definitely the AI staging and the calls. Awesome. Daria, this is amazing. I can think of a dozen projects I need to build on Lovable yesterday. Yeah, again, anything that's like dashboard websites, if you're like, I wish that there were a software for this, start on Lovable. Or if there's a software that you really, really want to use, but it's really expensive, you can, this is like a little hack. You can actually go into Lovable and say, rebuild me this software tool. it's absolutely insane. So again, if there's something that you really like, but you're like, oh, I don't want to spend $1,000 a month on this, go to Lovable and be like, rebuild this for me. So it's really cool. Michelle, I'm going to be spending way too much time checking deals now, and I don't have to ask a real estate agent for comps. Yes, Michelle, right? It's like, did they get the request? Am I ever going to get these comps? I don't know. Like, yeah, it's funny because I actually did a presentation for real estate agents this morning, sort of selfishly, because I want agents to start using these tools in their business so that they can support us better as real estate investors. So I hear you, Michelle. Cool. Does Call Ready integrate with the CRM, like high level? Yes, absolutely. Yeah, so everything can integrate with your CRM. It's just a matter of like, is there an API, or do we need to do that through like hard coding or Zapier? So everything can be solved. Just like let the team know what you're using, and then it'll basically say what it can do. Awesome. Let's see, Ashley, what do you feed your underwriting GPT other than your buy box? So that's a good question. I really just try to stick to my buy box, if I'm being honest. But if I were to feed it anything that was outside of my buy box, it would actually tell me. It'd be like, why are we looking at this deal? It's not even in your buy box. So the way that I train my GPTs is I'm actually really specific on the outputs. I found ChatGPT in general to be very positive. And a lot of times if you're using it and it's like, wow, it likes everything that I say, then you probably have to go into the settings and tell it that you want it to be brutally honest. So I did that for my underwriting GPT. I'm like, look, I want you to save me time. I want you to be brutally honest. A lot of times too, another little hack is if there's like, known people out there, like sometimes I'll use Tony Robbins, or I'll use Kevin O'Leary, or I'll use like Shark Tank people, right? Kevin Voss on one of them, Chris Voss on one of them. And so I'll say, talk to me like this person. And then their tonality will talk to you in that way. So my underwriting GPT, I think I actually have like Kevin O'Leary in there as one, and maybe Grant Cardone too. And so it's really funny. So it's like, this doesn't fit your buy box. Like, are you sure you really want me to look at it? So that's a thing there. But the really cool thing too with ChatGPT is I have not found a limit on the custom GPTs that you can have. So again, I have a GPT for my HOA docs. I have a GPT for homeschool. I have a GPT for underwriting, landlord-tenant laws for every state that we're in, the underwriting GPT, if I haven't already said that. I also have one that will answer like general property management questions. I've got Maintenance Mike. I have various different ones. There's one more feature too within the Chat GPT that I didn't mention, is you can actually have a full conversation with it. They're sort of different than where you do the speak to text. If you click on the little dots, actually, maybe I'll just show it to you guys really quickly. I literally just discovered this the other day, and I'm like, oh, I didn't realize that this was an option. And maybe it's actually only in the custom GPTs, but let me see if I can share it with you guys really quick. But let's see. Yeah, actually, I'll just share this with you guys really quickly. Last thing, this little voice mode here, you can click on it and you can have a full conversation. So like, I'll just click on it really quickly. You have to initiate the conversation. It's not liking all these windows. Hey, what attire would be a business deduction for my business?
When it comes to clothing and whether it can be deducted as a business expense for tax purposes in the U.S., the general rule is that it must be something that is not suitable for everyday wear and is specifically required for your work. For example, in the case of Alex and Kay Balakian versus Commissioner, the tax court addressed whether a television sports reporter could...
See if I can get that to stop. Okay. So yeah, if you're not using that, it's really, really incredible, especially if you're like on the fly. Like Ashley, I know that you do development as well. So if you have ChatGPT on your phone and you've got the underwriting GPT that you built, and let's say you are, I don't know, driving and you see a property address, you could open it up, have a conversation and say, hey, I'm at the cross streets of, this street and this street. Can you try to find this property, run it, give me some feedback? right? And it can literally in real time have a conversation with you like that. It's really, really cool. Liz says, can you show us where to find the ChatGPT agent option? Yeah, so it should just be, let me show you guys here really quick. Oops. All right. So I'm here, the plus sign, and then agent mode. So right there, and I can deselect that. This is deep research, create image, agent mode. So
Thank you.
there is
Yeah.
no problem.
Appreciate it.
Awesome. Okay, guys, I know we're a little bit over, but like I said, we'll send out the recording tomorrow. And if you guys have questions, like feel free to respond to the email, DM me. Really, really happy to help and hopefully be a resource. Like I said, our team is like full into the AI stuff now. So just, hoping to help you all get to the next level in your business, save a lot of time. So hopefully you guys got some value out of this. So awesome. Everyone, have a good rest of your day. Thanks for being here.
Thanks
and
so
have
much,
a good
Jennifer.
evening. Yeah, my pleasure. All right, all. Take care. Bye.
So great.